No, that's not a quick hug.
Justice calls my name. I am vengeance. I am the knight. I am Batman for Gotham. Do you know who else is calling my name? The girl who stalked every Peter Pan performer at Disneyland for 10 straight years. And unlike Gotham, I cannot fix this. Silly you. It's just me, globalcherry. Grab your mug because we are partaking in this steaming tea today. Isn't it just romantic how we're all here right now? You know what would be even more romantic though? Subscribing. Let's just get right into it. For a little background, I loved Disney as a kid. I watched the DVDs, binged old school TV shows like Hannah Montana and The Sweet Life of Zack and Cody, and Space Mountain was my absolute favorite ride in Disney World. But even though I grew out of it, I know plenty of people still cherish it as adults. But you don't see me in the clubhouse trying to get hot dogged by Mickey Mouse. And I've literally had an employee spray me with glitter because she told Kid Me it was pixie dust and I'd fly. I didn't fly, I took a shower. Now, while there are plenty of polite normal Disney adults, some people just take it entirely too far. Enter the Peter Pan girl, a creator on TikTok named Tony, who went viral after the internet started digging through her archive. How do I know about Tony? Well, as a chronically online goblin, I went cave diving into TikTok's deepest trenches to find something new to bleach my eyes with. The first video I ever saw was her handing a Peter Pan performer a custom duck plushie version of Peter Pan that she crocheted herself. At first glance, I thought it was a sweet gesture to do for a character you love, but then you realize she has been showing up every single week, tracking down every single Peter Pan performer at Disneyland for over a decade.
Now we'll see you next week, right?
And throughout that entire decade, the different Peters absolutely knew she existed. Does every Peter Pan in the vicinity need help right now? Send the bat signal. I will personally pull up in a Tinkerbell costume and extract you from the premises immediately. Because I'm Batman! My impression is terrible. You never have anything nice to say. You can immediately see why this poor Neverland leprechaun looks so uncomfortable. After handing over the gift, she drags him into this excruciatingly long conversation while he's subtly trying to run away. Peter Pan is supposed to be a cheeky, bratty kid, so when a grown adult leans in to pose for a kiss for the camera, of course it's in character for the Peter Pan performer to physically recoil. Even if it's for a joke, you can see a number of videos that the performers feel uncomfortable with this woman.
We're best friends, but we're not gonna be anything more than that, so don't get any ideas.
Look, I get loving a character, but you have to know what boundaries not to cross and respect someone's time, especially when that person's actual job is making the park magical for kids, not fulfilling an adult's weird personal fantasy. They are workers playing a role, not your friends, and definitely not your partners. You may love Peter Pan, but that performer does not love you. Now, as crazy as it is to go to Disneyland every week to see a performer, Tony is actually on the mild side compared to the literal horrors Disney cast members deal with. She lacks social cues and boundaries that need to be communicated clearly, but she wasn't violent. Dylan Gadek, who played Peter Pan from 2014 to 2021 and was in some of her older videos, actually spoke out about her. He said her behavior made him awkward and uncomfortable, but it never crossed the line into physical danger. She also confirmed she was never banned from the park. The internet tried to dox her workplace and send waves of harassment towards her, but considering the circumstances, I think they went too far. She didn't physically hurt anyone.
Doesn't seem nefarious. She's going up to this character, she's giving him gifts. But this is very similar to something that I saw happen when I worked there. Let's remember that these character stalkers, it tends to escalate and get worse through time.
What her videos did do, though, was open up a massive rabbit hole into just how dark Disney adult fandoms actually get. Dylan shared that an entirely different guest once described what his dog looked like, stalked his family, and waited for him in the cast parking lot after every single shift. Another Peter Pan performer has spoken out by talking about a stalker asking him inappropriate questions. People said it's also Tony, but we don't have the information to confirm that. Back in the Tumblr era, there was an an entire subculture obsessing over face actors for Peter Pan. They even gave one specific performer the nickname Spieling Peter. If nothing is done to protect these employees, I won't be surprised if Bro ends up in a documentary next. There was no attendant near the performers to drive the freaks away and get the performers to do their job and meet other guests, and there should be. The actors should not have to do dance monkey dance when what the guest does crosses a line. And don't even get me started on the princesses, because they are not safe from creepy dads.
There were more moments that the Disney princesses endured with really creepy dads and really creepy older men that would circle the queue lines and do similar things, most of the time much worse, and be handsy with the princesses on cast at Disney World.
The hardest job at Disneyland is being a face character because nothing in the manual prepares a 20-year-old Snow White for Jared and his wife and kids. Jared's wife then has to grab him by the collar, yelling, "Swear to me!" You won't make this weird. But the second they hit the front of the queue, Jared turns into Christian Bale, scanning the room with a, "Where is she?" Sir, step away from Snow White. She survived an assassination attempt from the evil queen. The last thing she wants is a man in cargo shorts trying to kiss her.
Where are they?
Ariel has had her seashell top grabbed. Someone told Sleeping Beauty they're great in bed. A Rapunzel performer had a grown man show off an explicit NSFW tattoo of the Disney princesses and demanded a hug. When she refused and called security, the guy was genuinely pissed and surprised. Bro, what did you think was going to happen? You think the princesses are flattered seeing naked drawings of themselves on your arm at a children's park? Even Cinderella is trying to bibbidi-bobbidi-boo herself away from the dads claiming they're her Prince Charming. Former performer Jen Stowett even talked about a cast member's son who constantly harassed and heckled the park actors until he finally got banned. But then she went to pick up her costume at Epcot only to discover that the same banned guy has been hired in costuming. That is not just abusive management, that is a literal horror movie.
Hey, Sherry Bobbins, and I say it again, and I'm like, okay. I was like, we're done. Goodbye. And he's like, I'll leave if you give me a kiss, or if I can kiss you. I don't remember. But I was like, absolutely not. And he wouldn't go away. He's like, well, I'll just wait here.
You work at Disney to play a character, and someone who stalks you gets hired so they can be closer to you. You are living in the Netflix show You. Joe Goldberg is literally following you home, and Disney's response was, hey, let's put the stalker that's touching you closer to you. If your kid is being a creep at the park, don't bring them. If you have a daughter acting like that, keep her home too until they both learn etiquette. Justin Aldrich, a former Star Wars performer, talked about cast members getting groped by moms, and one of his colleagues had a fan track down where they lived. Gaston performers have been groped by 34-year-old women wanting to touch their biceps. This is a straight-up nightmare for these workers. It's like going to a strip club knowing you can't touch the dancer, but doing it anyways because you think she's batting her eyelashes at you. She's batting her eyelashes at the dollars in your wallet, babes. She has a job to do, just like everybody else. Performers are trained to never break character, but how the hell do you stay in character throughout all of that? People face zero consequences while crossing every boundary imaginable. Disney sets up rules to avoid lawsuits, but come on, you actually have to enforce them. The people working behind those costumes are real human beings. It doesn't matter if it's a man or a woman that got harassed. Policies should still be enforced to protect the staff working in the park. See? Now I'm worked up. I could be out in Gotham pummeling my enemies, but instead I'm distracted by Sue or Jeff following a Chip and Dale actor to his Honda Civic. Damn you, Joker! Here is a segment of my Batman Arkham VR combat highlights, so you know exactly what I'm doing to the next person who touches Ariel's seashells. That is all for today. If you enjoyed this TED Talk, please leave a like, subscribe for more breakdowns, and comment your thoughts below. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Huh? Hello? Alfred, you called? Tony finally stopped stalking Peter Pan and is now stalking Batman? Create me a fake identity and send me to a tropical island. Okay, thanks. I'm Batman.